What? Don't laugh. Is shaking. It's episode 98, the Golden Mike Live. Patricia Lohan coming from the Alps. Guess what? Guess what? I have to look around my room, Patricia. Look around this room. Is this room optimized for luck and money? Tell me yes.
I need to have a deeper look, to be honest. I can give you a few tips for sure here, but I can for sure I need to have a better look at like what exactly is on those cupboards.
The reason I'm asking Patricia this today, y'all, is because Patricia is a long time, over 15-year Feng Shui expert, right?
Yeah.
Author of the book, The Happy Home. I hope my home is happy. And I'm also going to be moving to LA soon. So like, I want tips on that, baby.
Yeah.
In the Alps with your husband, do you live in Bali when it's not the rainy season? And the final thing is we're new buddies. We're new buddies. So it's good to meet you. It's good to meet you. Exactly. We got a couple people already tuning in. Let me see if I can get you guys online because I hate Be Live. Boom! Jorge is coming in from Puerto Rico. Yes, love.
Amazing.
Jorge is the greatest of all time, and it's good to have you. Don't forget, Jorge, I expect to see your face on the 1000th show on Monday at 6 p.m. Zach Mesler, I've got a man crush on this guy. Zach, Jorge, both of you, are your homes optimized for luck and money? Answer the question now before you tune off and go with your life. Answer the question. Is it optimized? Because Patricia is here to talk about optimizing your life for money. Before we go into Patricia's story, I'm going to talk about the thing I want to talk about the most today. Okay. Me. I want to talk about me, Patricia.
Go for it. Tell me
Patricia's like, what? For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Mark Cordone. I'm the Chief Disruptive Officer of the Joy Revolution, as well as the founder of Make Money Coaching. But more than that, I'm a positive psychology coach, which means two things. I'm feeding back in your house, Patricia. So I'm going to take the mic away. And then number two, number two, it means how happy are you feeling today on a scale of 1 to 10? That's all I ask. How happy are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? Number 3 is how much are you living in your full purpose? If you are living in your full purpose and you are happy every single day, you don't need me. You don't need a positive psychology coach. Just live your life, baby. You're flourishing. Now, Patricia, you know this is a double-barreled question, so I'm going to ask you, how happy are you today, and how much are you living in your full purpose?
I am very happy today. Like, I am very, very happy. I wake up with a big, grateful heart for an amazing relationship and a business that I adore, working with people I absolutely love. And I just want to prove, because many years ago, I wasn't a very happy person, and I was not in alignment in doing what I loved. And a big part of it was this mantra that I always repeated when I was on a kind of crossroad journey in India. I used to say to myself, I am grateful that I work at a job I truly enjoy doing, working with people I love who love me, expressing my creative talents daily. And that rolls off my tongue because I repeat it so many times. So I feel like I pretty much achieved that because I love my clients. I love what I do. And life is amazing.
Say it again. Say it one more time. So
I work at a job I truly enjoy doing, working with people I love who love me, expressing my creative talents daily.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. So for those of you who are watching live or the replay, Patricia, I need you to put your hands up like this and make a heart. Make a heart, make a heart. That's how you make the heart over there in the Alps. For those of you who are feeling good and loving life with full purpose right now, Zach Mesler knows what's up. Hit that heart button. We want to see how do you beat that heart, Patricia? Beat that heart. Hit that heart. Let us know that you're flourishing. Now, here's the other thing, y'all. A lot of people think that a positive psychology is about shits and giggles 24/7. It's about being happy all the time. Do you have tacos over there in the Alps? I'm so ignorant. It's about Taco Tuesday every day.
We had
A lot of
Mexican
people-
for lunch.
Oh, there you go, baby. Like people think that it's just about being happy 24/7. Now the thing is you might be sitting here and you're like, man, Cordone, Patricia, like I was happy yesterday. And you know what? Like I don't feel happy today. That's cool. That is cool. Or you might be saying like, yo, I had a 30-year job, or I had a multiple year relationship in which I felt purpose, I felt meaning, and now all of a sudden I'm falling out of it. And I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. The thing is, that is part of your hero's journey. Your heart beats just like Patricia, just like mine, just like Zach, just like Jorge's. Just give us a thumbs up to let us know that you're living life right now, because this is a part of your joy capacity. This is a part of like all your experiences in life, right? So positive psychology is not about 24/7 shits and giggles. So remember that. Thumbs up, and like we're with you. We're with you. Enjoy the show. Now here's the final thing. Exactly. Whenever you put the thumbs up, it makes you want to open your mouth. I don't know why. You automatically did it again. Now here's the other thing. Here's the thing why here's the biggest reason why I'm a positive psychologist. Whether you feel happy, crappy, up, down, all around, if you're feeling like tomorrow is going to be an even better day than today, if you're optimistic that you're going to grow as a person, that's a big deal. And there's another, I know you're watching, Mesler, so I want you to do this with me. There's another button down there. It's called the wow face. And Patricia and I are going to show you how the wow face is done. Patricia, show me how you make a wow face right now. Let's do it. Patricia, amazing. You just made a bunch of viewers really happy. I cannot feel crappy watching the two of you. Shakalaka. Love it. You're making Zach laugh. That's all that matters with the show, is that we're having a good time with the show. Now, with all of that pomp and circumstance, let's get to this. How to make the whole magnetic to money, to luck, to blessings. Before we even get there, I want to know your story, Patricia. Like, what are you about?
So I'm about making people happier, just a bit like you. I'm like, I love what you're doing. It's like amazing. And what am I about? Basically, I just realized when I was working with many people, like doing the inner work and having a happy outlook in life and being positive is so powerful. But when I dove deeper into this, it's like your house and your environment has a profound impact on it. We spend like 24 hours a day if you work from home, nearly in your home. If you don't, you're gone for 8 hours at work and you come back again and you're in this building, which is a really dense energy. And if you're into and you kind of get the whole like law of attraction thing, like attracts like. So wherever you were energetically, when you found your apartment, got your house, moved in, that's what your energy of your place is. And anything that has happened in there beforehand, any stories, any arguments, anything that happened in the history of the house, it stays in there. It stays there unless you shift that energy out. And another thing that's really big is when you work with a house and the energy bats, it's almost like a person. Like it has its own energy imprint. It has its own blueprint and its own personality. So it's about really making these two align together. So for me, when we work with the energy of a house, it creates like a fertile environment for planting these intentions of joy and happiness and abundance and good things. And it's like, oh, we can have our thought like, oh, I really want to attract this into my life, or I want more joy in my life. If you plant it out on the street, like out on the concrete floor or the road, it's just going to get mushed and it's never going to get a chance to like grow. Whereas if you plant it in like the most perfect soil and you put it in there and it's tended to and nourished, it's going to grow and flourish. And that's what it's like when you live in a home that is energetically happy. It helps you become happier and it helps you really attract what you want, because most of the time, well, when people come into my world, there's something off in their lives and they're struggling with something. And we do an analysis of their homes, and I go, oh, well, the reason that you're not getting money, or the reason this has happened with relationships is because of this or because of this. Because it's like literally like written on the walls of the house invisibly.
Wait, what do you mean because of this? Like, is it like you chose orange wallpaper and that's why you're not making any fucking money? Is it like that? Or is it like is there something that you're attuned to? Like, for example, like, are you especially attuned to reading energy? Like, can you feel, like, if you were blindfolded and we walked you into a room, could you feel the heaviness of the room? Could you feel like if a house had been, let's say, a place of families and families and families had grown up, and like an idea of abundance was not there in the house. It was scarcity in the house. Could you feel that energy walking in?
So you can, when you hear the people talking, usually I'm just like, oh, that's what it is. This is what's going on. It's like join the dots. But actually, so feng shui is like a 5,000-year-old practice. So there's like nothing woo about it at all. It's like 100% like really deep dive into the energetics, the invisible energetics. So I like to describe it almost like if you think about magnets and how they work. It's like they attract to each other or they repel. And you can see them repelling, and there's nothing visible. You're like, why is it doing it? And that's exactly what's going on in a house. Like, it's a fact when you look at magnets, and it's the same. There's like invisible energies in your home. And what how I describe feng shui is it's acupuncture for your home. So if you turn up with your acupuncturist will look at you and be like, they'll have a gist of what's going on. Like I will when someone starts talking to me about their life, and I'll be like, oh, I wonder what's going on in this area of their home. And I'm like, okay. And then they take an analysis, like they're checking in, going, okay, well, this is off and that energy is all up. And they literally like put needles, like metal in you in different parts of your body to get that energy flowing. Believe it or not, that's exactly what we do. We analyze the energy with a lot of information. So instead of like taking a person, like everyone takes a date of birth, we take the year the house is built. We take compass readings instead of like their pulses. And we look at the floor plan. So we look at the physique of the body. And then we literally come back with this report, and it tells us like whether your house is good for money or bad for money. Like usually you're able to go, my house is bad for money, because every time you make money, it disappears. Like I had like one client who joined me once at a call, and I was like, yeah, she's like, I heard you talking about this money, the house bad for money thing. And she's like, mine definitely is. Like, I just made like $50,000, like this big, huge contract. And then my plumbing all exploded, and it cost $50,000 to fix it. And I'm like,
oh my God,
house. It's like some homes, it's like it feels like you've like a leak in your bank account, and you're like, what the hell? I'm working my ass off. I can't like hold on to the money. And it's not you. That is actually one of the big things, because for me, I have a lot of people who come into my world who are into personal development, and they're into clearing money blocks, and they're into getting, really in alignment. But the thing is, if it's not like them and they're doing the work and they're actually working, I can be like, yeah, it's your house. And the one thing I kind of sometimes like to also premium, we can fix everything, but I need to like know more about houses. And you did talk about like orange wallpaper. Like if I do go into someone's house and there's a lot of like fire, like a lot of red in a house, like that can cause like red and orange and bright colors, like that fire element would be really like cause like anxiety and anger and frustration, like, because it's like fire, and that's a really powerful energy. So unless
if that's on walls, I should probably take it off my head.
Yeah, maybe. Well, look at maybe we all have our own personal elements as well, like kind of like personal feng shui, and we can have like best colors for us. So for me, like one of my good colors is red. So red and pink and purple and orange are great colors for me to wear. But for my like husband, if he wore them, they will be like really draining for him. Like just he'd get tired and he wouldn't be like as energized. Yeah.
So there's feng shui for clothes too. Like depending on the color of my underwear, I'm like optimizing my clothes for money.
Yeah. Oh, well, in terms of like, I'm always recommend people the best colors for it's based on your date of birth. So it's analysis that we do for our clients. But yeah, we can tell you like best colors for your car and for your wallet. Like I have my best colors for my notebooks because like these are going to be my work notebooks. And red and purple are great colors for me. And red is a color of fire, as I said. It's like bringing energy and that. And then purple is a really good color for like manifesting. So I was like, yeah, I want manifesting and I want more energy. I was like, yeah, call that in.
So when people are not around, do you dance around?
Yes.
No, you do. You're very honest. I love it. Now, Zach, I love how engaged you are with us today, brother. He was thinking of painting the wall behind him red. I guess not. But like you went and said that, like it might work for Zach.
For Zach in that area, but it will be like one of the things. Like if you're not like say if you haven't like hired me and I do the deep analysis of your house and figure out like what area, because every part of your home also represents a part of your life. So it is just like a body. So it's like your house has eyes, the windows. It looks out into the world. Like if you have dirty windows, you cannot see out. Like you can't see where you're going. Like it's like being blindfolded. So you can't see what's coming at you. So it's like this real being in a place of like no man's land. You don't know what's going on. And it has a mouth, like the front door. So this is where the energy comes in, and how you bring that energy in to feed the house, where the chi and the energy flows around. So, you know, if your front door doesn't work, like that's a big no-no with feng shui.
Oh my God, the front door is all messed up right now. It's all messed up.
Yeah.
And you get out of here. Well, we'll fix that door. What's green good for other than money?
Green is good for growth and expansion. Like just think like if you kind of look at how it works with different things, like green is the color of the leaves and the trees and nature.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you know what, Zach, you're asking so many questions. I might give you the link so we can look around your house. And maybe if we have time, Patricia will take a quick look and maybe a master quick advice. But I do want to ask for all of us watching live or the replay right now, and for those of you who are tuning in, we've got Patricia Lohan with us today, who's here to talk about how to make your home magnetic to money, luck, and blessings. And she's the author of Happy Home, which is coming out, and also at the same time over 15 years in the feng shui arts. By the way, like what did you do before feng shui? Because you said you weren't that happy. Like what?
Yeah, so I studied feng shui when I was like in my teens. I got really into it. We moved house a lot. And then I quit all of that. I went to university and studied business, and I ran a business in Galway on the west coast of Ireland with my parents. So it was like a bar, restaurant off license. And I kind of like set that up and was there for 7 years. And by the end of it, I wore black every day. My sister's boyfriend at the time, my now brother-in-law, used to be like, it's like she's going to a funeral every day. I literally was in black from head to toe. I was so miserable. I used to go home and cry every Friday on the couch. And eventually I quit the job. Eventually my mom told me, I think you need to leave. Because she's like, you're so unhappy. She saw my sister in Australia, really super happy with her life. And she came in after visiting my sister in Australia, and everyone was like, oh, you must be so sad leaving your daughter behind in Australia. And my mom was like, no, she's so happy. Like, why would I be sad? Like, she's so happy. And then she arrived back to the business and saw me, and she's like, oh my God, like Nicola's so happy. She's not happy. And she's like, I think you need to leave. And out of my mouth rolled, yes, I'm leaving. I'm moving to India to become a yoga teacher. And like, I had never, I used to practice yoga once a week. Like I wasn't like an avid, I am a yogi. I used to go to one class a week on Wednesdays for like an hour. And that was it. And then I was like, I'm moving to India and becoming a yoga teacher. And big part of feng shui is all about like decluttering. Yeah. And, making sure your house has things that are resonant with where you're going in your life. And that trip to before I moved, by the time I just packed up everything and literally let go of everything. Because my life on the outside at that time looked really good. Like I had a great, I was running that great business. I was I was on the TV. I was on the papers in PR and publicity for my business. I had my little BMW. I was in designer clothes every day. Like I just looked amazing and everything, but I used to just I was like miserable. like so miserable. And I got rid of like 10 black bags of clothes. Like that's a lot of clothes. That's like a lot of wardrobe space. And 34 pairs of shoes, my car, everything. And all I had was like a rucksack and moved to India.
How many times did you wear some of the pairs of shoes?
Oh my, I don't know. Some of them maybe once or twice. Like they were
34 pairs of shoes is awesome. It's like a Nike store.
I know. I still actually left a few with my mom when I came back, and I was like, oh my God, why did I even keep those shoes? And they were gone. Like now I have like a few pairs. I still love shoes.
So with the decluttering, was that something that you still remembered from Feng Shui, or was it like, oh my God, like I feel the energy, I just need to get rid of this shit?
It was like, I need to change and I need to let go of everything. Like this part of my life, I just need to let go of it. Like I was drinking a lot. I was like a total like party animal. And everything was just like, and because I didn't know how to make myself happy. And it was just like filling some void, just like work and out partying and then having all this designer stuff. And to be honest, like I still love a really nice life and nice things, but it's from a very different place now. It's like, I don't care where my clothes are, as long as they fit me and they feel good and I like them. Like I don't really mind the label that's on them, to be honest, but as long as I feel good in them. And it's a completely different energy of a person that I am now to back then. And when I let go of all of that, it was like, I just like let go of that version of me and that version of that part of my life. And I felt like free as a bird. Like I moved to India, had like a spiritual awakening up in the Himalayas, like up on the highest point of the mountains in the Himalayas, and got like super sick, and it was amazing, like amazing.
Super sick, it was amazing.
I got super sick, and my astrologer was like, "Oh yeah, you know what that was like? That was like a spiritual thing." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Did you get cracked open?
I got really like, yeah, it was like totally cracked open. And as I moved around and did the trained in yoga, trained in Reiki, did more trained in sound healing, had like millions of synchronistic things happen. It was like that moment of flow. Like I felt like I literally was living on thin air. I have no idea how I even like financed that. I had like a small bit of money and it just kept like going every day. And I was like, I have no idea. Like it was just so amazing, the people I met. And then I finally found sound therapy and sound healing. And I moved back to Ireland with Tibetan art and to sound healing and trained as a sound healer. I was in an ashram one day and I went with my friend of mine, and we went to look at these singing bowls. And I was like, if I was to buy one of those bowls, I'd need to know more. And lo and behold, I end up in Nepal. Like, I'm not even part of my plan. I bought like a round the world ticket to see everywhere. I went to India and then I flew to Nepal, and that was it.
Is this in the book?
No, but this is in my second book, which I'm working on. The second book is all about destiny and synchronistic happenings, and like knowing that there's whispers out there and on the ether that if we listen to them and follow that we will never be guided. We're always on the right track if we follow that. So
like destiny for us to be on the show together today, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Horrible segue, but wonderful way for us to engage the audience. I know you guys are watching. I see you, David Cooper. I see you just logged in. I watch you. But here, for those of you watching the replay or those of you watching live, I want to hear you say yes to Patricia right now. I just want to hear you say yes, because if you want to hear her tell us what we can do right now and apply Feng Shui right now, I want to hear you say yes. Do it right now. So with that said, like, what you gave us a nice idea of what Feng Shui is, but what can I immediately do right now? What can the viewers do right now to really optimize? I don't even know if optimizing is the right word, but it's like it's like my positive psychology word, optimize. But like
optimize, okay. Yeah, so right now, if you were to do something, yes, let's go. If you're to do something right now, I would love you to just like turn around and just tell your house that you love it and you're grateful for it. Like, I love you.
I love you, house. I love you. I
Thank
love
you.
you. I love you. I love you, floor. I love this wall. I love you, closet. You've been with me forever. I love you. I mean it.
That's it. Because you know what?
Is the house reacting to this?
It's hearing, it's listening, it has ears. It's like the walls are taking everything in. And a big part of this is like we take for granted the fact that this house has an energy like of its own, has its own personality. And basically, it is like oftentimes there's just like taken for granted. And we start like being grateful for this like roof over our head, for this support that it gives us is like so it starts to change and it starts to go, hey, oh my God, I'm being seen. I'm going to start being respected. I'm going to start like, you know, doing nice things and saying thank you, house. It'll start responding for sure. So
now,
the first thing
what it said back to me.
Mm-hmm.
It said, fuck you. It's too late. You're moving to LA. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, house. It's time. Oh, I'm getting into an argument with my house. No,
it's all
it makes sense. It does make sense that you do that. And, you know, to be quite honest with you, like my attitude moving to the new place in LA is, oh, I'm only going to be here for a little bit. Like this is, and like just the disrespect I've got already going into that house. You know, it wouldn't, I'd think that that's not necessarily the way I should be treating that house over in LA.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, I'm going to like make the most of this. I'm going to be so grateful for it. I'm going to look after this place while I'm here. And I'm going to like really clear the energy. So you want to make sure that when you do arrive in that new place, that you're like, okay, how can I make sure that this place is clear of anything that went on here beforehand? So you can do like something like a space clearing. Literally, you can play your favorite music. You can come into the house and go, hey, I'm moving in. I'm excited to be here. Like, what do I need to go around and fix? Like clean the windows, clean the door, and just like wash away all that old stuff. So it's like a fresh start.
Giving it a nice, good, like loving, giving it some loving.
Yeah,
okay,
for sure. Cool. So that's the first thing. But before you leave where you are, like say goodbye to the place you're going, like cut the cords, like let it go and like leave it good, like leave it with a good positive relationship. So you're moving into a place that has good energy because what happens, I see, with a lot of people and a lot of houses when they've been in a house that has like a bad for money, bad for people personality, they literally attract that with their next house. If they start raising the energy of their current house and they start changing that relationship, it makes it easier for you to attract a higher vibrational house the next time. And it's so interesting. Like that is just one of my favorite parts. Now, when we look at each part of your home, it's like, you know, there's the love and marriage area, there's a relationship area, there's the money area, there's the health area. And it's just like that, again, back to the body. Our heart has a job, you know, it pumps the blood around. Our lungs have a job. It's exactly the same with your house. Every part of your house has a job. And literally it is like either attracting what you want, like it's like bringing in what you want, or it's repelling it. So that's where feng shui is almost like, and there's like a whole iceberg thing going on with it, because at the top of the iceberg, there's like the small tips that you might have heard about feng shui and the things you might have heard, like, you know, keep your toilet seat down, like money comes in the door, make sure it's not going down your toilet seat, keep the toilet down the toilet, keep the toilet seat down. Secondly, like things like, you know, washing your windows, making sure your door is easy to open. Like that's tip of the iceberg stuff. The next layer is that layer where each part of your home has a different job essentially. So you've got the area that's really responsible for either attracting money or for making sure that the finances are okay. That area is not happy. Things are not going to be that happy. Or your fame and reputation area. So like you have a business, you have a podcast, like you want to make sure that lots of people are watching it and it gets like your fame and your reputation is built up and you want to be in the media and all of that. Like that part of your home is like relevant, you know, that it can be energized. So for example, most recently, I had this client in Ireland, and she was like a journalist. So she used to just like write like articles, like beauty columnist. And when I went to feng shui her house, she had this like area in her house that was where the TV was. But I was like, oh my God, this is great. Like it's, and she's like, oh, I call it my wall of fame. It's like a little Oscar, like all these famous pictures of famous people with her and people she'd met over the years, and her TV. It was just like all famous people. And believe it or not, that was her fame and reputation area. So she didn't know it. Like sometimes we intuitively do things. She didn't know it was her fame and reputation area. And the energy in that area was so good that year. And literally that year was the year she got on TV. She got lots of gigs. Like she was on like a really famous show that like loads and loads of millions of viewers. And it was just like, I got there and I was like, wow, like she already had that area without even knowing it, like prepped up and like the Oscar and all these things that are all connected with fame and famous people. And that was so good. So anybody who wants like to improve their reputation or how they shine their light in the world or how people refer to them, you would look at the south area of your home. So you just get your iPhone out or your phone, and you can literally, there's a compass on it. It holds it still and be like, where's the south? Okay, the south is over there. Oh, I could just put a little mini Oscar up there, or with an intent, something that's like an anchor. So it's like a double whammy. It's like a visible anchor for what you want to manifest, but also it's in that area that is aligned with it. So if the energy is happy in that area, it's like, oh yeah, let's bring more fame for Mark.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was going to ask, and I think that you're beginning to get at, is it really isn't the size of your home, right? You could live in a couple 100-foot studio apartment in New York, but yet there, even though it's just a box, you could still distinguish the different areas, right?
Yeah. I have worked like with women in like tiny studio boxes in New York, and I've worked with mansions, like 30,000 square foot, like mansions. And it actually doesn't matter because the same rules apply, like totally. And it actually doesn't matter if you own your house or you rent your house or you're sharing your house. Like you can still like feng shui it. Like you can still bring in the practice into your home and into your life.
That's so freaking cool. That is so freaking cool. So what would you say has been like in your own life? Like what would you say has been the one thing that's helped you become a success?
So the one thing that's helped me become a success was actually using feng shui to attract my soulmate. Because it activated this part. Like, so when I went off on my yoga journey and everything, and then I ended up in Dublin running my business. And I was really like wanted to meet someone. I was like, I'm ready. And I set up my bedroom. I did everything I could possibly do for feng shui. So I set up my bedroom. I made space for love. I put in like images of couples. I wrote affirmations. I did everything. I had extra space on my wardrobe. Take notes, people, if you want to attract love, like do this stuff.
What color did you wear for that?
So it actually, my bedroom, like believe it or not, the bedroom I moved into was a room that my sister had for like, it was her apartment, and she'd lived there for 9 years, and she'd been single for most of the 9 years she lived in that apartment. So I was like, that doesn't have a good rep. Like in terms of like, it's not a good rep. Like moving into a room, like eternally single in. So the first thing that you saw when you opened up that bedroom door was a mirror. Like, and I was like, that has got to be covered, because literally the energy was coming in and be reflected back out. So we covered the mirror. I pulled my bed out. I had space. I had 2 lockers, 2 bedside tables. I emptied my wardrobe. I bought extra hangers. Okay. So this time in my life, I was like earning like €5 from teaching a yoga class. Like it was like, I was literally living like hand to mouth. And I earned this €5 for lunch one day from teaching a lunchtime yoga class. And I went to TK Maxx. I think you call it TJ Maxx or some like TK Maxx. TK Maxx, and I bought black hangers. So I had pink hangers for me, and then I bought black hangers because I was like, I have used all my hangers. I have no space for this guy for his stuff. So I bought these black hangers, spent basically my lunch money, my money on the hangers, and hung them up. And like within a couple of weeks, I met my husband. And this is where it all gets like, and this is why I love this whole idea of like synchronicity and kismet and destiny, because I met Ken, and I, like, the first time I went to his house, I was like, he has feng shuied this bedroom. And I was like, that's too bizarre. But I'm telling you, like, energy, like, attracts like. So I got, he didn't have a pink bed. He didn't have pink hangers, but he had spare space, and he had like a spare bathrobe. And he goes, "Oh, I just have this one if the other one is being washed." And I was like, "That's total feng shui." And then like a few months later, like when I was like moving in, he's like, "Oh yeah, I totally feng shui did for love. I've been into feng shui since my 20s." So honestly, like, he got into personal development when he was on his own journey of like clearing and getting into like his personal path. And he feng shuied his bedroom for love as well. So it was just, and now we both work together in our business doing feng shui. So he supports me on the back end, but I do all the face of it. And we're both like, we just did feng shui for us. Like, and to be honest, that's what has created this, because it's like the synergy of the two of us together is kind of mad, because I'm so like flow and so like big vision and want to be out there. And Ken is like so organized and structured, and like, he's just like this. Okay, and it's just so good.
Now, it sounds like the contrast is perfect, but does the contrast ever go into like a little spat where you're like, it needs to be this, and Ken will be like, absolutely not. That's like the surefire way for this person to stay single, honey. Don't do that. And like, does it ever get like that where it's like, or are the principles so universal?
The principles are fairly universal. And what was kind of weird was when we were doing it, like when we first originally started doing, we would go and do consultations in person with people. And Ken was like kind of freaked out, because he was like, how do you know all this stuff? Like, it's just like oozing out of your mouth, because he had like really had to like sit and like study it hard. I'm like, I've been into it since I was like 15. And I felt like when I was really properly getting my certification and retraining and that deeper stuff and analyzing the houses deeper and like beyond the intuitive stuff, I was like, it was like opening a book that I knew. Like, and I literally said going, And my teacher was like, she's got this already. This is like old. This is like a past life thing. This isn't a new thing to her. And when we started, he was like really kind of jealous, because he was like, you know all this stuff. It's just and I'm like, because I know that definitely one of my gifts is like seeing the unseen. Like, because I'll walk around someone's house, and I'll give you an example of an office. So I'm like looking at this woman, and she's showing me her office, and technically her office was really good. Like, she had like a really good desk, a gorgeous office chair. She had it really well set up. Like, it was a great office. But on the wall, there was this picture. And I was like, what is the story? What's that picture? I was like, she's like, oh, it's a winter scene, a snowy winter scene. And I'm like, in your office? And it just felt like a bit off. And I was like, winter is a time of like hibernation. It's a time of like inward. Snow is like, no one wants to. It's not a time of like growth or expansion or harvest, which is what you want to associate with your business and with work. Like, you want abundance. You don't want like no leaves on the trees and we're all like freezing. And I was like, that like doesn't resonate for your office. And then she's like, oh yeah. And she's like, and it was my ex-husband's. And I was like, oh my God. So it also represents like a relationship that ended, like a loss, or, and something that wasn't happy. And like, some people would just walk past that picture and be like, oh, it's a snow picture. But I'm like, what? Tell me more about that. Like, so symbolism, that way of like seeing the symbolism of like what's actually in your house and how does it resonate. Like, for example, if you're trying to attract love, people often think, I'm going to put a picture of a heart, because a heart represents love. And I'm like, yeah. And I've seen this so many times. I've been in one house, the lady had 18 hearts up all around her house, but it was like the Lonely Hearts Club. Every heart was on its own. One heart here, one heart over here, one heart down there, like one heart to the room.
There was a cat.
And I was like, we need to pair these up. Like, we need to think in pairs. Like, you're not one heart on your own. So it's like, yes. So it's like the symbology that is really, I just like love that about it as well. Like, because it's so yeah, it's so strong to kind of connect in, because what's kind of going on and what you have in your house is mirroring what's happening in your life. So with Ken and I, we don't have like big spats about like stuff like that, because we're really on the same page with things. And I think that also we're really good at like talking about what we, you know, about things, and we're not like, oh, and I was like, that wasn't that nice the way you said that. And he'd be like, oh yeah, I just played it again. Wasn't nice that you said that. Like, it's very positive, like the way that we communicate. But in terms of things in the house, like when it comes to feng shui, we are, you know, we're only in this house, this space in Slovenia temporarily, because it's a rainy season in Bali. It's too wet. So we want to go ski. So we're like, let's go somewhere we can ski. So we're like 20 minutes away from the Alps from skiing. But we got here and we're like, yeah, we've got to feng shui it. And we're like, totally on it. It's like, yeah, get everything in place, run the numbers, make sure that it's supportive of us. Because I'm super sensitive to energy if I'm in a place that's like not right. And I can kind of sense it. I'm like, I won't sleep. And I just, yeah. So we need to be on track with that.
I love it. And you know who loves it too? Patricia, my girl, says Holly. Holly, it's good to see you. Alumni Holly. So, you know, I'm going to go right into actually something very personal to me. My move to LA in January. I'm moving in with my partner. And we are in business together, like you and Ken. Most of the business that we do, we're coaches, so it's gonna be done out of the house that we're living in. We're gonna be there for about a year or so, and so I've already disrespected that house. I haven't thanked this house enough that I'm currently in Florida. What would you say would be some things that I should think about, and Melanie should think about as we're, you know, really co-creating this new space together?
Yeah, for
We've been
sure.
living there for a year. You know, her roommate just moved out, and now, you know, we're in the process of creating an office and doing this stuff. What should we keep in mind?
So I feel like
hiring you. Aside from hiring you, what should we keep in mind?
Aside from hiring me, the very first thing for you, I would say to you, is like, when you are like moving your things with you, it's like, just like everything that you are packing, just look at it and go like, does this resonate with where I'm going and what I'm creating with my future? Like, does this resonate with me and the life I'm creating with Melanie? Like, does that? And if it doesn't, it's like, no, I don't need that. And even if it costs a lot of money, that's one of the things that can be a block for people. Or someone gave it to you as a present or a gift. Like, things like that can feel like struggling. And you're like, no, it's like, where, and really keep in mind what you are creating together. And maybe this is like you've had this conversation, obviously, like, what are we creating together? Like, what do we want from this space? And for sure, like, just be really mindful that you're kind of like bringing your energy into the place. So, Melanie, I would say, like, for her to like make space as well, like make space as for you to come in. I know the roommate is kind of gone and there's a vacuum there, but that's a different type of energy. So really important for her to go through her space as well and be like, does this resonate with where I'm going and what I'm creating together, what we're going to create together here? So it's like the two parts are together. So like, I totally resonate with this. I moved in with Ken into his house. All my stuff came, and it was so interesting because he was really not good at decluttering. Like, that was actually a really tricky thing for him. He was not good. And it was the house that he had built. So, you know, he built this house and his stuff was in it. Like, basically, he built a house like across the road from his mom's house, like, so where he grew up. And his mom, like, when the house was built, had basically brought all these boxes of stuff from his childhood and like threw it there. And I was like, and it was on the attic, and the attic is like extra stuff on your head so long and just like not doing stuff. The next morning, he jumped out of bed, like going, okay, let's do more. And I was like, who's this alien? I was like, who's your man? I was like, it's Sunday morning. Like, I want to Saturday, so now I'm asleep. And he was like, oh, and it was like he had just like released and let go of so much stuff that he was like a new person. So it's like, that's such a powerful thing for both of you to do. So you have this new energy together. So like letting go of anything from the past to go move forward. So that morning though, I go downstairs and I'm like fixing some of the glasses in the cupboard, and this small little glass that's on the cupboard like falls and breaks. And I was like, oh no, like it's Ken's, like I've just broken something of his crap. And I went upstairs and I'm like, I'm really sorry, I've just broken a glass, but it's like, looks like it's like one from a holiday or something special. And he comes down and he's like, oh my God, I totally even forgot that I had that. I got that on holidays when I was with an ex-girlfriend. And he's like, oh, that's good, that's gone. Like he's like, I totally, because he's like, I thought I had everything rid of, and then I went in, I didn't even know what it was, and smashed it on the floor.
Are you
So
sure it
that-
wasn't a shot? Are you sure it wasn't a shot glass that said like Gina and Ken forever, and you're like, no. I'm just kidding.
But like honestly, that would be a big thing. But also when you move in, like start to have maybe do a meditation with you and Melanie and the house and set your intentions. Like start at the front door, do a space clearing, like, you know, sage the place, play some nice music, move around to clear it. And then like sit down and like write down some intentions that you want to make, that you're like, this is what we're here. This is what we're looking for support with the house to do. And, you know, you'll start to and meditate with it, and you'll start to feel a shift in that. And the house will be like, whoa, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm so happy.
Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're going to bring you back on the show when I'm in LA.
Yeah, for sure.
Melanie and I will walk through the house with you.
I love it. And like
with you.
The other thing you said was you're setting up an office. Like I would happy to do one where we look at your office, because like setup of office is a really powerful thing for people, and for making sure that you're in a place that's supported and all that set up. So I would like love to do one like that. We're like looking at where you are, and like I'll be like, yeah, that's better. And who's that?
That is so awesome. And you can read my energy, because that was my next question. I know people are watching the replay and watching live right now from their office. So like, what is like, I know we're running out of time, but what is one thing or a couple things folks can do who are in their office to set it up for them to increase their success?
Okay, so the very first thing, and it's only because it's the most blatant thing that I've been looking at the whole time with where you are, I'm like, don't sit with your back to a window.
Oh.
Sit with your back to a wall. So like energetically, like a window behind you is not really good support. And actually it's pretty far away from you. So it's not even close. See how close the wall is to me? I have like a strong wall behind me, and I'm like, okay, this is a place that we're not living permanently. But if I was in my office, like I have in Bali, I have like a proper like CEO boss chair. You know, I'm like, I am the boss. I have support. So that is something I would definitely invite people to look at. Like, where are they sitting? Do they feel supported? And can you see what's coming at you? Because for me, for you, I don't know where your door is, but it can be just there. Okay, so it's like over there. So you can kind of see what's coming at you, but it feels like it just feels like you have a lot of space and not enough like just like full power support right behind you. So that's something I would definitely recommend. And the same goes for you were like, tell me about what my office, you think my office is good, blah, blah, blah. At the beginning, I'm like, I would need to look closely at the shelves. And honestly, I have looked at many people's offices, and the stuff that they have in their offices, like, I'm like, what is this doing? Why is there kids' toys in here? Why do you have suitcases? Why is there like exercise equipment? Why is there like, and I'm like, what is this to do with your business?
I have everything on there. I've got a kid's toy. I've got statues. I got Bruce Lee. I got random things.
I'm like, what has this to do with your business? Like, your business is really important, and what you surround yourself with in your office is super important. So it's like vital.
I'm fighting the feng shui woman. Bruce Lee is like the person that I want to like mentally think about in terms of the way that he reminds me of like resilience. He reminds me of if something is not going right, he would shut his schools down, like integrity. And so I'm keeping that up.
Oh, okay.
I'm keeping the toy up.
I am not going to argue with you on this one. I'm going to give you an example of one of my of this feng shui story that my teacher tells. And she tells about going to a movie director's house in Hollywood. So like, I'm not telling you, like all these A-listers, they all have feng shui consultants. Like little black books of feng shui consultants are very, very powerful books. So she gets to this movie director's office, and she's like, oh, a gun on like a big picture of a gun. And, you know, instantly you're like, that's a weapon. It's dangerous. It's like all the negatives associated with guns. And she, instead of saying, you get rid of the gun, because I would never say get rid of Bruce Lee. I would say to you exactly what you said back to me, like Bruce Lee represents this to me. So she turns and talking about the gun, and he goes, "Oh my God, it was my first movie. It was the one that went big. It was this, it was that, it was ah." And he's like, "I love it. It reminds me of that success." And she's like, "You can keep the gun." Like, it was like, of course you can keep that. Because it was like nothing to do with the gun. It was all about the actual, like, what it meant. So it's like, this is where there's a very thin line of like, and feng shui online, like you can Google stuff and it's like, people heard this means feng shui, this is bad feng shui, this is bad feng shui. I'm like, no, because it depends on the person.
But Patricia, I hate when we fight, but I'm glad that we're not fighting anymore. I wanna put this up before we run out of time. Patricia Lohan.com. What are we going to get when we go to patricialohan.com?
If you go to patricialohan.com, there's like a guide to help you unlock some money blocks you could have in your house. So there's a guide of like money tricks, like walk around your house, go through these things and see what's in your house that you can fix to improve financial prosperity. There's also my guide to help you feng shui your office. So step by step, things you need to look out for when you're feng shuiing your office.
And it says, like, the first chapter is do not turn your back to the fucking window, idiot. That's what, like, chapter 1.
I didn't say idiot. I didn't say that word. And the thing is, it's all about awareness. And that's the biggest thing with feng shui. It's like, if you don't know, you just take it for granted. Everyone, like, I see this so many times. You get your office and you're like, I'm just going to jam the table in the corner and put myself in this small area. And I'm like, you're the boss. You need space. You need to be the owner of the space. So yeah, that's there. And then I have like loads of videos, like little 1-minute tips. They're really cute little intro music and a 1-minute tip. Like, it's a feng shui miracle of like one little thing that you can do in your house to shift the energy. And the nice thing about feng shui, as I said, it's like an iceberg. So there's like, every time you do one little thing, it shifts, it makes an improvement, it's always good. Like, you might be like, oh my God, everything has changed, but except when you work with me and it's like, oh my God, Patricia, my son just won a $70,000 scholarship. That was like my favorite one from one of my clients. Yeah.
That is amazing. patricialohan.com. It's packed with information. And what about the book? Can we get the book? Can we get the book from patricialohan.com? Because I know that you're about to go Amazon. It's
literally just gone on Balboa Press website, so it's not available on Patricia Lohan yet, but it will be in the next 2 days. So like, go to patricialohan.com, sign up for like either the ebook or something, and you'll get an email saying, my book is live on Amazon. You can get it.
Well, maybe next time we have you, I'll be holding the book, or you'll be holding the book.
Yes.
We'll be talking about the second book. We'll be going through LA. But until then, this space has been so good to me. I've loved you, and I want to leave it with great energy. And I thank it. And I thank you, Patricia, for making me aware of that. This has been I hope you felt it. Like, this has been so fun today to have you on.
Yes.
Now, this is why this is called the Golden Mic, Patricia, because I'm a coach, and so I got to do some sort of coachy thing with you. So we're going to do a visualization, if you will, right? So I want you over there in the Alps to imagine that a golden mic is falling from your ceiling and stopping right in front of you right now. Now, the power of this golden mic is that it translates into every language all across the world for 5 minutes or less. Which means when I flip the golden mic on, the entire world is listening to the message that you want to tell it. Patricia Lohan, your golden mic is live now.
If you don't manage to love your home and start loving your environment like you need to love yourself, your home is going to repel what you want. So it is so important for you to start, first of all, honoring your home. Start loving it and nurturing it. Start thinking and asking it for advice and for its support. And when you do that, it's going to absolutely bring amazing results and rewards into your life, because I believe that you can be, do, and have everything you want, But unless you have the right environment to plant those seeds of your biggest dreams and desires into that right fertile ground, it is not going to happen. And it's going to make it a lot harder. And life is meant to be easy and enjoyable and fun. And you may as well use everything you've got, yourself, all your inner beliefs. Make sure that you are filled with joy and passion every single day, but that you have the right environment to do it in. And when you do that, you are co-creating the most amazing thing for you. And you're really, really going to get into this space of alignment of like truly why you were meant to be on this planet, doing exactly what you're doing, expressing yourself creatively, sharing your passion. And actually the best part of this, of creating this amazing environment for you, is that everyone else who lives in your home will also get it. So your husband and your children, they're going to get better grades. They're going to get on better. You and your husband will get on better. So it's like happier homes, happier relationships, happier children, create a happier world.
Patricia, I want you to hold your hand up like this. Now I want you to drop that golden mic like it's hot, because you just destroyed it. It feels like you break that golden mic, break it. Did you rehearse that? My God, woman, that was amazing. Congratulations. That was awesome. Patricia, we're going to have you back. Say hi to Ken for us.
I will.
For those of you watching the replay or watching live, thank you for sticking around. This has been Golden Mike 98. This is what we're going to do. It's a Friday here, which means we're shutting off the Golden Mike for the weekend to spend time with friends and family, to actually go out and interact with people. I would advise you to do the same. I'm sure Patricia's going to spend time with Ken, and we're real lives. We're going to come back on Monday, and guess what Monday is, guys? It's the 100th episode of the Golden Mike. Everyone is invited. Patricia's invited back. I'm going to give you a link. It's going to be a free-for-all. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun, but have a good time this weekend and spend time with the ones you love. I'll be back. Patricia will always be back. Here's the question that I have for everybody watching. If you're feeling happy and you're living life to your fullest purpose, what is your responsibility to changing history for the better? This is Patricia. I'm Mark. This has been Golden Mike number 98. Thank you so much.